Okay everyone, welcome back to the career mode series here on F1 2019, and we're here for episode 7 at the Canadian Grand Prix. So let's jump on into it. We got 4 messages. I've already clicked on this first one because why not, so I do a 4, that's just a goals update. Complete 8 practice programs, shouldn't be too bad. I'll sort of do all the practice sessions. Development's completed and the weather is clear. Oh wait, no it's not, I'm very blind. The qualifying is going to be a wet Q3, maybe end of Q2, so could change things up a bit if I make it that far. But yeah, I think it's not too bad for now. That's the R&D tree, so Ferrari are going backwards and backwards. If you look, Red Bull have gone up, Ferrari just haven't really, and Mercedes gone up a bit, but nothing's really changed too much. But anyway, I think that's all really, so I'll see you in qualifying. Here we are in qualifying. The first lap. And through turn 1, leads quickly into turn 2. Went a little bit wide through here. It wasn't the cleanest turn 2. Turn 1 was okay. A blind chicane of, I think it's 4 and 5. Purple through the first sector, but I think that's because we're one of the first people to actually set a lap. Yeah, I don't really know too much about the best lines or anything through this track. I mostly just try and follow the racing line. There's probably secret lines or whatever to make it. Quite a tricky corner, that one there. Because you don't want to go into it too quick, but also you don't want to go into it too slow. Going through the hairpin, we've gone very wide, but again, it's not the end of the world. Going a little bit wide through the hairpin, but it probably lost us a couple of attempts, which is quite bad. And now open the DRS down the longest straight of this circuit. It's actually quite a long one as well. Now coming up to the infamous final chicane. All the champions to the right. Avoid all of that. And then crossing the line to set to 110.0. It's not too bad. And there we go, that's good enough to see us comfortably through to Q2. But Carlos Sainz has not made it out of Q1, so he's going to be starting 18th. Here we go then into Q2. I've already set a lap time, but I will set another one. I made an absolute mess of the entry. The first quarter was a very interesting line, but we don't talk about that. And now going through here, that's nice and solid again. Try and carry all the exit speed you've got coming through there. And now braking here, clip the apex, just try and get the best possible run you can. Going down the next straight, open the DRS, and now this is quite a new DRS straight. It didn't used to be a DRS straight, is now, and now coming up towards the hairpin. Hopefully we don't run out so wide this time. Ran out a little bit wide, but certainly nowhere near as bad, as we've actually got a lot of traffic in front of us. Grosjean dived out of the way. He must be an out or in lap, whereas Kimi Räikkönen in front, I don't think is on a particular now. I think he's just on a flying lap like us. We're right behind him. Go nice and solid through the final corner. Get the stay to the right because it is the shorter line, and good enough for P6. And we're through in P6. That's slipstream and DRS, but it helps us down the main straight massively. But into Q3. Well, it's raining in Q3. We all knew this was coming, and here we go then. It's my first lap in the rain, and to be honest, because Jeff's told me on the weather report that it's going to get heavier, so this could be my only chance to set a good lap time here. I reckon that if this isn't a good lap, then I'm not going to be in a great starting position. So far, doesn't look too bad. Coming through here, there is lack of grip massively, and we've just lost the back end completely through it. We just chucked on the brakes. The moment we lifted off from the brakes, the car just slid underneath us. Our tyres are slightly overheating, but that's just because of that massive slide we just had. Now coming through here, tricky in the dry, let alone in the wet, but we've taken that very, very nice, getting every apex we really needed to get at. Going through the hairpin very early on the brakes. This is the one corner I do not want to be running miles wide at. A little bit too eager on the throttle there. We've completely lost the back end again. We just need to be a little bit more cautious, I think, on the throttle, just focusing on getting a good exit rather than just getting that power down. And now coming through the final chicane now into hot lap because we have a little bit of ERS to play with. And a decent through there, and now we're going to stick to the right hand side, which we haven't actually done, but it's not the end of the world. And I did go out and set another lap time. We're in P9 after that first lap, but this is really heavy rain now. We've abandoned the lap, as you can see at the bottom right, and I don't think that we're going to be able to set another lap in this session.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Hamilton, Bottas and Sebastian Vettel. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race. We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions. And watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Can we begin by having a chat about Charles Leclerc? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Perez, Alexander Albon, and Hülkenberg, Stroll, Iceman, Magnussen, and Roman Grosjean. Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Max Verstappen, and Giovinazzi, Gasly, Kvyat, Carlos Sainz, and George Russell. Kubica and Charles Leclerc completes today's grid order. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Excellent job yesterday. We qualified above expectations. Let's go out there and put in a performance.
So Charles Leclerc obviously had the grid penalties, as they said. So we're going to put in our standard fuel, maybe a little bit less. I'm not sure, just... No, standard amount seems good, I think. And then strategy-wise, I think we're going to go for that one stop. We haven't really tried that too much in this series, but I reckon that around Canada I can manage these tyres just about enough to make it work. Probably lap 10 on the softs. And I think we're ready, so let's dive in. Here we go then. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 lights ahead of the drivers, including myself. Here in Canada, we're underway, and it's been a very nice getaway as we just tuck into the slipstream of Hülkenberg in front, and they're side by side. We've, I think, got in front of Stroll. He's just to our outside. We have the inside. If we can get good traction out of here, we should be past him. Here we go then. Have we got past Stroll? Yes, we have. Down the inside under braking. No problem there, as that's concerned. And Hülkenberg's had a terrible exit because he was fighting with Albon, but we're just going to sit behind him for a while longer. Now advancing to the end of lap 2, we've got a great run, and it's going to be the inside on Hülkenberg down the main straight. We were catching up on him the whole lap, and then he's got past him here, and there we go, side by side in front of us. We've had to slam on the brakes. That could have been really bad indeed. We didn't really focus on it until we saw it. Perez has been overtaken by Albon now. Or as it is, Perez is still going to be fighting back, but no, I think he's been overtaken now. Alright, so we're still in P6 for the time being, but we've got Perez in front of us. We're going to want to try and get past him because we have been going at good speed. But I'm fairly sure that all of these people are 2-stopping around me, and obviously I'm 1-stopping, so hopefully I can gain time there. It just depends on whether I can save these tyres, but for now we're just going to sit P6. And just watch that racing point in front of us, because it's going to be very hard to overtake him, especially seems to have the quickest engine on the entire grid, which really doesn't help us out much. Seems we have one of the slowest. Now on to lap 6. Here we've got gaining on Perez down the straight. If we can get a good run through the final corner, I reckon we could probably get him here. And we have had a good run through the final corner. We're going to have the inside line. He's giving us a good old squeeze up against the wall. Nearly took to the grass there, as we're going to go down the inside. He gave us a squeeze, so we're going to give him a bit of a squeeze, but now we're going to have to give him the room. Let's give him plenty of space there.
Nice work, that brings
Ended
you
up
to place.
on the grass a bit. Not got this move done yet. We're still going to try and give him as much space as we can. Nearly hit the wall, we go in that much space. He's had a terrible run and we're up into P5.
The gap to the car ahead is
Now into the pits now on lap 10. Nothing's really happened the last few laps, so we're just going to dive into the pits. We're going to fit the hard tyres now. We just have to save them for 25 laps. I don't think it's going to be the hardest thing in the world, but if I have to then start battling with other cars, then these tyres are going to
go now.
just die more and more as we progress. So, but at the moment I think these tyres should be fine for the end of the race, but we'll see.
Line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Now then on lap 11 we have got Grosjean in front of us. I think he's battling with Lance Stroll. Stroll, of course, it's home Grand Prix here, but Stroll's going to lock up here and that could make Grosjean vulnerable for us, and we have made the overtake round this outside through turn 2. Very opportunistic move. We made it count as we got a little bit wide on entry there, but
Brilliant.
didn't come to anything, so we're fine. Up into P11 now, but obviously cars still need to pit in front of us. Now on to lap 13, a little bit wide on exit there as we're catching up to Lance Stroll in front of us. It's going to be an interesting fight because we're both going at exactly the same pace. The only reason I
Battery is low on
think I
energy.
can easily
Reduce
overtake
DRS
him is
to
just
1%.
because of the DRS, but then when I get in front of him he's going to have the DRS, and it could be similar to if you think back to my fight with Magnussen around Baku, where every single time I overtook him he just seemed to overtake me straight back in a few quarters time, but in this case it would be a lap time because it's not Baku, it's Canada, so could be similar there. As here we go then, let's see how this slipstream in DRS is down the straight. We haven't got much ERS to play with at all. It's very hard to save it around this track. I haven't really been focusing on saving it. Stroll's going to go defensive. He's had a massive lockup. We've actually got past him. We've almost collected into the back of him, but we're up into 9th. And then move on to lap 14. We have Stroll right behind us where we overtook him before, and now he's going to try and overtake because we're not really going to fight him. He's had another lockup, but this time it hasn't really led to anything. Didn't really put on much of a fight there. Here we go then, exit the final corner there. A lap later we're going to have the outside line on Stroll. Hopefully he doesn't lock up into us. He's locked up 3 times already this race. Now we're going to have the inside line, and there it is. We have the mover up at a 6th. Very, very quick really, switching positions all the time. Now Stroll has got back past us again, just a little bit later on that lap. Didn't show it, but it's okay, as we're not going to really put up too much of a fight for it. We're going to just focus on a good exit. We've completely cut the second part of that, but you know. And Stroll in front of us still. He's starting to pull away a little bit, and we're more focusing on behind because we have that Red Bull car of Max Verstappen. He started out of position due to a penalty. I think he started about 13th or something like that, as we're going to be side by side. We've been forced off the road by Verstappen. 2 cars don't really go into that corner, if I'm going to be completely honest. The only way I would have avoided him there was by going off the track, but we're not going to try and put too much of a fight up against Verstappen here. He's on the quicker tyre. He's going to have another pit stop, so I think for now he's not really our fight in this race. No one's really our fight in this race until they actually do their second pit stop, as we're down into P8 now. So not ideal, but obviously I'll get back past him and probably Stroll in the pits again in a few laps time. Now Leclerc is now going to cruise past us again. He's not really our fight. He started P20, so he's had a good race so far, but obviously that Ferrari car probably quite strong around this track. Now we've actually got up a lot to Stroll. Stroll was getting a long way away from us, but then, well, there's two reasons really. Obviously, Verstappen and Leclerc would have caught up to him and started to fight him, which would have held him up. And also his tyres are now probably starting to come to the end of their stint. Their mediums only last for 15 or so laps, and that's probably what he's been on them for, so we're just going to sit behind him.
Stroll is stopping now.
As just as Stroll is now in the pits, and that is very good for us.
The gap to the car ahead is 2.5 seconds.
And now we've got Perez behind us, and we're not going to fight him. He's in a quicker car really, down the straight. Tyres are in much better condition than mine, and we're just going to allow him to go past. Cut it again a little bit, but didn't really gain us any time because we're not going to get back past him, and down into 6th now. And we've got advanced to lap 31 now, and we've just been trying to drive and save these tyres because they are gradually running out. Here as we have got Verstappen right on our tail for the second time in this Grand Prix, and we don't really want to fight him too much again because otherwise he's just going to hold us up, and then we're going to come under threat for more people here. He's actually squeezed us to the wall. We have said no, we're not going into the wall today. These tyres are absolutely gone. They're 63%, and we still have to last another few laps on them. Here as Verstappen has got past us, but if we get a good exit through here, we could actually still challenge him, which I don't really want to do, but I don't really have much choice really, because DRS slipstream and everything is just...
I think you should be able to bring a bit more out, but it won't be long before they fall away from you entirely.
Yeah, DRS slipstream just too OP really. We're going to have to go there. We end up having to cut the corner again. Like I said, two cars just don't go into the chicane. Well, they do, but very, very close. But we're not really too bothered that we cut that because it didn't really gain us much time. We're just only going to be letting him back through the moment he can really get the chance. Tyres are gradually falling off the cliff, as Jeff always seems to say, but I don't really think they're going to explode. I don't think they're going to explode yet. I don't think they'd be able to last till something like lap 40 or whatever, but they're certainly going to be able to last these final few laps, I think. As Verstappen is right on our tail here, tries to go around the outside. There was just no room there. We didn't even give him a squeeze. There's just, the wall just comes in on you so quickly there. So you just got to try and think to yourself when it's at this sort of point. Like, there's just no point in fighting him. Like, what are you going to gain from fighting him? He's just going to cruise past you down the straight. Even though, having said that, we have a very, very good exit, but still, with slipstream DRS, it's just, yeah, nothing we can do. Look, we haven't got enough fuel or ERS to really fight it. We're just going to go early on the brakes and just let him cruise past. Down into 7th now. Now advancing on to the final lap of the race here. Lewis Hamilton has won the Grand Prix here for Mercedes. Mercedes have absolutely dominated this Grand Prix. Here we are going to keep Stroll, Leclerc and Hülkenberg behind, which is very, very good for us, as we're going to come home P7 just as long as I keep it out of the Wall of Champions at the end of this lap, which I'll be taking very cautious just in case, but it's not really too much of an issue. At this point, these tyres are okay. They're about, I think, 75% or something, so they're very close to exploding, but they haven't, so that's all that matters. Final chicane. Clip the apex, perfect. Now stick to the pit wall, cross the line, that's P7, good result, we're done.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improve their position in the championship. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Here we go then. So we've done the Canadian Grand Prix. Very happy with P7. God, them tyres were dead at the end of that one, but made it work in the end. Quickly swap back all of the components that I used for that one. Going back to the default ones. There you go, there are the standings if anyone is interested. So myself and my teammate Carlos Sainz P5, P6 at the moment. Somehow Magnussen's still ahead of both of the Red Bulls. Red Bull have just overtaken Haas. All looking good for us really. But yeah, we've got some upgrades we need to do, so we could do a major one, but I need to do some more durability. The turbo, this is the turbo right here. Turbo has to get upgraded and it costs 700 or whatever that said, so that's expensive, but I mean it had to be done, to be honest, because it was pretty badly worn. So that, we're not going to be bringing any upgrades into next week, any new ones anyway. We've still got this engine power one here, which should move us up to level with Racing Point. Hopefully that is actually going to be true, but anyway, France next week. Make sure to join me then, but thanks for watching everyone. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.